What's up guys, I'm Uriel Soto, and in this video I'm going to be teaching you how to create a header on Elementor Pro, and you guys are really going to enjoy this one. I am going to be showing you how to create it on mobile and tablet. So this is a header here that we're going to be building. It's all completely optimized, and the really cool part that I wanted to show you guys is whenever we shrink this to a specific size, you will see that our nav menu gets moved all the way down to the right side here at the end. And that's a really awesome feature that I started doing on my websites, and I want to go ahead and share that with you guys. So if you guys aren't currently doing that on your website, you guys can definitely learn how to do that. Now, if you don't have Elementor Pro, don't worry. You can go ahead and use any plugins to create a header. I do have some videos on that for the free version. You guys can just set that up and then just go ahead and do the same thing that I do on the Pro version. But if you do not have the Pro version, I would highly suggest you get the Pro version. It's definitely going to come with your own theme builder, pop-ups, templates, step forms, and everything that you're going to need to build a website. And if you're definitely trying to scale your company and get a lot more clients, it's definitely something that you're going to be using a lot. So it is something that I highly suggest you getting. Now, I do have some affiliate links down below, so if you guys do want to support the channel, you guys can definitely check those out. And if you guys do end up enjoying this video, make sure to squash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure to do so you don't miss out on any of my videos. I do have a Patreon, so if you want to support the channel and support me as a creator, I'll have that link somewhere around here, so you guys can go ahead and view that. Now, without further ado, here's the video. Let's begin. Head over to your dashboard, go into templates, and then go to theme builder. Go ahead and click on add new, and we're going to be creating a header here, and then just go ahead and type in header, or whatever you want to call it. You can call it main header, but I'm just going to call it header. And then we're going to have some options to choose some of these templates. I'm going to go ahead and just create it from scratch. So then I'm going to go ahead and add a section. And then within my section, I want about 3 columns. One of them is going to be for my logo. The other one's going to be for my nav menu. And then I'm going to have a CTA, which is a call to action button. I'm going to have a button. I'm going to go ahead and choose my 3 columns here. Then I'm just going to start to add my widgets or my elements. So I'm going to go into my elements here. And then I'm going to go ahead and choose my site logo, which I have not set up, but I'm going to. And then I'm going to choose my nav menu. I'm going to drag that into the middle. And then I'm going to go ahead and choose a button. There we go. And I'm going to drag this over here to about the sides here. And I'm going to drag this button over here to the side. Now I'm going to go ahead and publish this. And I'm just going to save it. I'm not going to go ahead and add it to any page yet. And I'm going to go ahead and just add my logo to my website. So in order to do that, we have to go to customize. And then we have to go into site identity and go ahead and choose your logo here. And I've already uploaded my logo, so I'm going to go ahead and choose this one, Tycoon. And now I'm going to go ahead and skip my cropping. And there we have it. I'm going to click publish. Then I'm going to go back to my header builder. And I'm going to go ahead and refresh my page. Okay, now we have our logo added there. That's perfect. Alrighty. So the first thing that I want to do is go ahead and adjust my nav menu. I'm going to click on my nav menu here, and I'm going to remove that underline. I don't really like the underline, so under pointer, I'm going to do none. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some spacing to this header. So I'm going to click on my section here. I'm going to go to advanced. And then on the padding, I'm going to add some padding from the top and the bottom. So from the bottom, I'm going to add about 20. I might change that later on. But I think that's looking good. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my all of these elements to the middle. As you can tell right now, they're set to the top. So I'm going to go ahead and click on my on my column, and on vertical align, I'm going to go ahead and set it to middle. And same thing with my nav menu, just in case, I'm going to set that to middle, and it's probably not going to do much. And then my button, I'm going to set this to the middle as well. Perfect. Alrighty. Now from here, I'm going to go ahead and probably make this button this logo a little bit bigger. As far as my section though, go ahead and click on your section, go into layout, and I always make my content width about 1280. That's just how I do all of my pages, 1280. And make sure that's set to 1280. If your website has a smaller width, then you can go ahead and just set that to your size, but I always set it to 1280. And if I set this to 1280, that means everything else on my website here, let me go ahead and go to the home page. Everything else on here has to be set to 1280. As you can tell, this one is not set to 1280 by default, but that is something that I like to do. So wait up, let me go ahead and actually add this to my main website, because I don't think it was set up properly here. There we go. Because these could be set already to 1280, and they are. It looks like they are. So okay, so they're about 1280. As you can tell, it kind of lines up properly. But I'm gonna go ahead and leave it at that. All right. So from here, actually, you know what? Let me go ahead and see what they're lining it on the website. And if you guys are wondering, this is just an Elementor Pro template. So, all right, so it looks like, let me go ahead and click on their section. So they're doing 1200, and just for the purpose of this video, I usually do 1280 for all of these. So I would go into each section and make this, 1280, and I could go ahead and line it up. You know what? I'm gonna do that because that's just something that I do. I always set mine to 1280. So I suggest you do that too. Just for this video, just so that I make sure that everything is looking good and you guys can get as much out of this as possible. So and there we go. That's the last section here. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and save this now. I'm gonna go to my home page, and now everything should be looking good. Okay, now we just need to go ahead and adjust our header. Everything's lined up properly. That just kind of bothered me when it wasn't lined up. So from here, I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that our logo is at a good size. So if you guys are wondering what size this section is, it's about, I'm gonna do about 12. Let's see. Just have it at 12 for the column width. Have that set to 12. I think that's good. All right, and then let's go ahead and adjust our typography here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a typography that we're using for this website particularly, but you can use whatever font you want to use. Varela round. So I'm going to go and choose this one. It's actually not that bad. Okay, so from here I'm going to make the text here, I'm going to make it black, or I might make it a gray color. Let's see, that looks like they're using the gray. Okay, I do like that effect that they're using here whenever you hover down and then it gets brighter as you go. Actually, I just noticed that. It's actually kind of nice. Okay, so I'm gonna maybe make this a little bit more grayish here, maybe about this color here. I'll go ahead and zoom on this, or I'll have the color code right here. Alrighty. Okay, that's perfect there. And then from here, I'm gonna go ahead and just customize my button. So go ahead and click on your button. And we're gonna probably use the same color. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab the color here. And I'll go ahead and zoom on this color code here whenever I add it in here, or I'll go ahead and list it. There we go, perfect. And you know what I'm gonna do, just in case, I'm gonna go ahead and save this color here. I'm not gonna name it anything particular. All right. And then this is like a digital marketing company, so I'm gonna go ahead and just type in book a call as my CTA. which is my call to action. Then I'm going to move this over a bit. Go into style. I might make this button a little bit bigger. Let me go see what they have going on for their button. So I probably want something that goes with their website. So they're doing a button like this. I'm going to go ahead and make it round. On my border radius, I'm going to set this to 100. Now you guys can set this button to whatever you guys would like, whatever goes with your website. Okay, and let's see what font they're using. Okay, I'm going to change that there. Alrighty. And what we can do as well, we can even add an icon to it as well. Let's see if I add an arrow here, maybe pointing. And I'm going to go ahead and set this. It should be after. And then I'm just going to bring this button over a bit here. You know what? I don't really like that. So I'm just going to move it over. And then I'm going to make my button a little bit more longer on each side. I'm going to click on my style here of my button, and then I'm going to go into padding. And once you go ahead and click on this, it's going to go ahead and just remove the padding completely. So from the top, I usually like to do about 15. And from the bottom, about 15 as well. And then from the sides, maybe 50. Oops, we should do 15 there. And from, let's see, 15, sorry, from the side here, we can do 50. 15, 15, 15. Okay. And let's go ahead and just extend this a bit. There we go. Now it does look like they're probably, no, actually it looks pretty similar. Their buttons are just a little bit smaller, but I think that's fine. Okay. So I kind of like how this looks. Book a call. I think that's perfect. That's a perfect call to action. Let me go ahead and view this on the website here. All right, there we go. I kind of want to make this text stand out a little more, so maybe I might make it a little more darker here. Perfect. Okay, now that's looking good. And then we're going to go ahead and add a bar at the top here. So go ahead and add a section at the top and make sure you have it set to 2 columns. And then we're going to go ahead, and I'm still going to adjust this header. I'm just going to add this on top of here for now. So go ahead and click on your section here. And then go ahead and set this up to about 1280 for the content width. And then what I usually like to do is I like to add a list here. So I'm going to go ahead and add a icon list. And then I'm going to set it to inline. And then from here, maybe we can add a phone number. So my first one will be a phone number. So I'm going to go ahead and just add a random number. Now don't worry, I will customize this, make it look a lot nicer. Then I'm going to go ahead and grab a phone icon. Let's see here. I'll probably have to want to grab a mobile, so I'm going to grab a, maybe the phone icon would be better. Do this icon here. There we go. And the next one would be an email, so I'm going to put my email at website.com. Or I can do support. How about that? Support at website.com. And then I'm going to go ahead and look for an envelope. And there we have it. Now for this one, this can actually be the location. So I'm going to put a building instead. And then I'm going to put, I wouldn't necessarily put like the address, you can, but maybe you have like an area that you service. So you can do maybe like USA, Canada, oops, you can do, sorry, let me actually just, actually have to capitalize that later. USA, Canada, and then maybe you do Europe as well or something. Okay. All right, so now that we have that set up there, let's go ahead and start customizing this. So on your icons, go to style and go to your icons, and now we're going to be using the color that we used before. Actually, what we want to do, we want to go ahead and change the color of this entire bar. We want to go ahead and fill this section. So maybe let's set this to white instead for our icon. Let's go into our section, and on the background color, we're going to go ahead and choose the color that we used before. Now, what you can do, you can make this gray if you know, some people like to make it gray, or whatever that may be, or whatever website color you're using. I'm going to go ahead and just choose the color that I'm using for my website. And then I'm going to go back to my list here. I already set my icons to white. My text is going to be white as well. There we go. And I'm going to set this to the right font. What font were we using actually? Totally forgot the name. Varela. Okay, so we're going to be using the Varela font. Varela round. There we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just shrink this a bit. I'm not going to have it too big. And then I'm going to set this to the middle. So make sure you click on your column and set this to the middle. That's perfect. Alrighty. And then we're going to go ahead and add some padding to the section. So click on your section, go into advanced, go into padding. Maybe we can do about 5. Let's see how that looks. That's looking pretty good there. Now, what I want to do, I want to go ahead and add something here. So on this side, I will go ahead and add maybe a login and a log out. Like, not really a login, but just maybe a my account or something like that you can set up. So in case you want people to like log into your website. So I'm going to go and add another icon list. You know what? Instead of adding another one, I'm going to grab this one here. I'm going to go ahead and paste it to this side. I'm going to click on my my icon list, go to style, and I'm going to set this to the right. And I'm going to remove this one. And I'm going to go ahead and put my account. And we're going to be looking for a user. So let's go ahead and choose this one right here. That's my account. And then the other one can be register. Or you can even have it sign up. However you would want to do that, have that set to sign up instead. And we can go ahead and add an icon for that one. Or you know what? You don't necessarily have to add an icon for that one as well. We can just remove that one. And we can remove it for this one too. And then we can go ahead and add a divider. And then I'm going to go ahead and just bring my opacity down so it doesn't pop out that much. Now, if you wanted to, you can add a divider for these as well. But I'm going to go ahead and leave it as is. Now, of course, if you actually did want to set all this up, and you did want to have your own little log out and log in section here, I actually do have a video on how to do that. You'll just have to create a new nav menu and you'll have to add it in here. And I'll try to link the video somewhere in here so you guys can watch that and learn how to do that. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and do this here. And there we have it. Now it's looking good. Now our button here doesn't seem to line up. Now that's kind of an issue, at least for me. Looks very unprofessional. So I'm going to go ahead and line that up here. I'm going to make sure that my button is set to the right. There we go. Now we might still have some spacing, and if we do, we'll need to remove the section spacing here. Okay, so that looks to be just about right. We just kind of can't tell really that way. Okay, all right, so that's looking pretty good. Now what we want to do next is we want to make sure that it's mobile optimized. Now this is a part that gets pretty interesting because this is where a lot of your viewers are going to be looking at your website through mobile. So let me go into inspect here and let's kind of see what happens here. Now this is still our desktop view, and then right there it gets set to that tablet. Now we're going to focus on our desktop view still, because as you can tell, before we even reach our tablet view, you have this issue here. Everything else looks pretty decent. We'll probably add some spacing on each side first, but we tend to have this issue where this button tends to get bigger, and the text kind of yeah, the text isn't looking that great, so we need to fix that there. So let's go into header here, into our header, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add some spacing on each side, which is fine. So what I would do is I'm going to go to layout, and then I'm going to go ahead and do 12. I'm going to do 1290, and you'll kind of see why I'm going to do 1290, because I'm going to move. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do 12. I'm going to do 1300. And the reason being is that I'm going to go ahead and add a padding on each side, and that's going to be set to 10 on each side, and that equivalents to, you know, when you bring that down, that'll be 1280. So go ahead and click on your section here, go into advanced. Now this is just what I do. I'm showing you what I do on my websites. So I'm going to go ahead and do 10 on the side, and 10 on the left and 10 on the right, and then I'll be doing the same thing to this one as well. So it evens out to 1280 regardless. There we go. And now, as you can tell, whenever we shrink this, because everyone's going to have different computer, different desktop sizes, or different monitor sizes. So now, as we can tell, it's looking great. But whenever we shrink this, we have that spacing, which is perfect. And then it goes into tablet. But we still have this issue with our button here. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and extend this now and give it some spacing here. So that's basically all we needed to do, was just give it some more spacing. That's usually the issue here. There we go. Now we might shrink this a little more and see if we have an issue. Okay, so we still have an issue. We just got to move it a little more. All right, let's go and refresh this. All right, there we go. So we don't have an issue now, and everything seems to line up perfectly. Yep, it's all looking really good. I know that there's always a lot of issues when you're building your header, and I've seen so many websites where they have those issues, and I just really want to help you guys fix those, because I think it's such an easy fix. All right, so now we can go ahead and focus on our tablet view. And what I would like to do on our tablet view, now what we can do is, first of all, we can go ahead and let me go and show you what I mean here. Let me go to inspect. So whenever we shrink this to tablet view, when it goes to tablet view, we can still have our text. So I'm going to go ahead and click on my menu. Now I'm probably not going to do this, but I'm just showing you an option here. So on the breakpoint, we can have it set to mobile instead. That's when we're going to have our hamburger menu. So as you can tell in here, we'll still have our menu here, and it's not really that bad. But as you can tell, I mean, right here, for instance, it's not looking the greatest. So I would rather have this set to a menu whenever it goes into the tablet. And I'll go ahead and fix this as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just set that back to how it was. Actually, what I'm going to do instead is, instead of refreshing it every single time, I'm going to go ahead and hit preview, so then it automatically refreshes here. And then I'm going to go here. All right, so as you can tell, we have this hamburger menu. So now what I want to do is go ahead and fix the top first. I'm going to go to tablet. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring this, make sure this is set to the middle always. And this one as well, the column is set to the middle. I don't think I did that on desktop. So let me go ahead and make sure this is always set to the middle, because by default it should have been set to the middle for both of these. I think they're going to be good. There we go. So now they're all both set to the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and just shrink this one, shrink this section here. Just so then it fits properly. Do about 20 here, 25. Maybe we can do 23. Yeah, about 23 is fine. And then right here, we're going to go ahead and do, we did 23. So the size should be about 70, 77. All right. So now that's looking pretty good. And we still have that spacing, which is perfect on each side. And we just need to go ahead and fix our bun here. So I'm going to go ahead and go ahead and give my bun some more spacing. So let's do about 30. Nope, that's a little too much. Let's give it 35. That might actually work. Okay, and then let's go ahead and just give this one about, I'm actually going to guess right now because I honestly don't know. Let's do 50, 60. So 60 is too much, so it'd be about 55, 53, 4. Okay, so 53. Alrighty. Now we're probably going to adjust this, by the way. I'm just fixing this. I'm going to set these all. These are all set to the middle already, so I should be good. I don't even have to add that there. All right, that's looking it's looking good. But something that I do want to do personally is I don't want this set to the middle all the way over here. It's not a good spot for me. I want to go ahead and move this to the right, and I want to have my bun on this side. But you're probably like, well, how do I do that? I mean, there's no option. I don't know if they ever used to have an option on that where you were able to move these. I had a feeling they did back then, where you were able to move each section depending on where you wanted it. So for instance, this column would have been 1, this column would have been 2, and this column would have been 3. And you were able to set this one to 3, and then it would move over for mobile. I think they used to have an option for that. But I don't know, maybe they still do, and I don't know where to find it. But I believe they don't. So I'm going to go ahead and just add some custom CSS, and I'm going to move this to the right manually. So go ahead and click on your column here. This part's very important. So click on your middle column where you have your hamburger menu. And then we're going to go into Advanced, Custom CSS. And we're going to go ahead and type in Selector. And that's basically going to select our entire column here. And we're going to add some curly brackets. I will have a link. I will have this down in the description, so you guys don't really have to type this out, but it's really easy to type out. And then you can type in order. And then we're going to name this order 3. And as you can tell, it's going to move it over, which is perfect. But we will have an issue here, what you will notice. And the issue is that it's set like that on desktop now, and it's like I only want it on mobile, right? So that's kind of an issue there. So we need to go ahead and add a media only screen for mobile and for tablet. So then whenever it reaches a certain endpoint or a certain size for your screen, what we need to do is we need to go ahead and type in our media. So, and you'll see what I mean. I'll have this down in the description so you guys don't have to worry about this. Media only screen, and put some brackets here, and then we're going to go ahead and type in max width, and this is going to be set to 1025 because that's where we have our breakpoint. And we're going to add some colons here. And then I'm going to do about pixels, and let's set this to 1025 instead of 20. There we go. And then we're going to go ahead and add some curly brackets here. And there we have it. Now I will have this down in the description so you guys don't have to worry about this. So you guys can just copy this code here. So anyway, so as you can tell now, when I go back to my desktop view, this is looking perfect. And when I go into my mobile, it goes ahead and switches for me. So let's go ahead and fix this. So now I'm going to go ahead and give this one the most space here. So I'm going to click on my column here. I'm going to go into layout, and I'm going to maybe set this up to like 10, even 5. I think 10 would actually work. Let's do 10. And then I'm going to go ahead and extend my layout, my column width here. So I'm going to do about 70. I believe, let's see, we can do 75 here. So I want to go as much as I can. So I'm going to do 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so it's about 8. There we go. That's perfect. So now what we can do is we can go ahead and adjust our hamburger menu here. Let's go ahead and view how this looks like real quick. We make sure that we don't have any issues here. All right, now our logo does get smaller, so we will adjust that later on. But I'm going to go ahead and just adjust my hamburger icon here. So go ahead and click on your hamburger icon. And then go into style, go into toggle button. We can go ahead and make the background blue or blue purplish, whatever you want to call that color. Go ahead and make this a little bit bigger. But as you can tell, it kind of just, I don't know, like I feel like I'm using this color way too much. So I'm going to go ahead and just make this really simple. I'm going to go ahead and just make this transparent here so we don't have a background color. And I'm just going to make this black or gray. There we go. Oops. Make this black or gray. And then I'm going to go ahead and just make the size bigger. And I'm going to make sure that I set this up to the middle. And I don't want any spacing on this. So I'm wondering if there is any spacing. And if there is, it doesn't look like there's border radius. So we might just need to fix this. Sometimes we do come across those issues here. So on your padding, you can go into margin, and I would honestly just fix this here. So we can do a negative. Let's go ahead and do a negative 10 here. So that did fix that issue, but then we want to fix from the bottom. So let's do negative 10 from the bottom. There we go. So that's not that bad. Still not lined up properly though, as you can tell. So maybe we can do negative 15, or sorry, negative. Let's do 1, 15. Remove that. Let's see how that looks. All right, now that's looking a lot better there. And then let's go back into our style here and just make that a little bit bigger. There we go. Now we want to go ahead and extend our logo a bit. So I'm going to give my logo some more spacing, and I might need to adjust this column as well. So click on your column for your logo, and maybe let's do about 15, or you know what, 20 was fine actually. I don't think 20 was that bad, but do 17 instead. 17, and let's just go ahead and start bringing this down. Maybe we can bring this down to about 70, 71, 72, 70, 73, 74. It was about 73. Let's have that set 73. That's looking pretty good. Alrighty. Now I'm going to go ahead and click update here. And as you can tell, there we have it. But whenever we click on this, we have this issue here. So it's clearly not the best. So we want to go ahead and set that to full width. And that's a very easy fix. So click on your hamburger menu here, on your nav menu, go to content. And then over here, go to full width and just leave that as checked. So let's go ahead and refresh this now. I already got refreshed, and there we go. Now it's perfect. Already set up. And let's go ahead and customize this. Let's go into style, drop down. And our background here, we want to go ahead and set it to our, oops, actually, you know what? Sorry, set that to white. Set it to white. It's on our hover. So on our hover, there we go. On our hover, it's looking good. And our active, we also want to go ahead and set it to that color as well. All right, now it's looking pretty good, but if you did want to adjust any of this, which sometimes you do, you know, you can go in here and adjust, let me go and open this up here. On here, you can adjust the typography if that's something that you wanted to do. I kind of, you know what, actually I might actually make it a little bit bigger because it is kind of small. And what I can do as well is I can set this to the middle instead. So let's go into our content here and we can go ahead and set this to the middle, I believe. Let's see here, and that might be our other one. So let's see if we can, oh, side center. There we go. So we can set this to the middle if that was something that we wanted to do. I kind of like them on the side. So I'm going to go ahead and have it how it is now. And it's looking pretty good. But if you did want to stylize this, you can go into drop down. You can adjust the border radius. If you did want to add a border radius, you can just the spacing on here. Maybe you can move it a little more. You can do the vertical spacing. You can make it a little longer if you wanted to give it more space, which I'll just adjust it however, since I'm already touching it here. You can even have some distance from the bottom, from the top. This part's very important because sometimes you might have this under. So you do have to have this pretty close to your header, just about right there. That part's pretty important there. And let's go and take a look at this. Now let's take a look at this on my home page here. There we go. As you can tell, since I do have my header here, I can bring this a little more down. See that? I can bring that a little more down here. I can go back to my home page here. And there we have it. That's looking a lot better. Now, if you guys do want to adjust this hamburger menu and move that around, just go into advanced here like I was doing and just adjust it so then it ends up aligning perfectly with your button. Sometimes you will see that issue. I'm going to do maybe 13 instead. Or let's do 10 here. Or we can even set this to 5. Let's do 5. Just because I was seeing there was a little issue there. I'm going to have it set to 5 instead. There we go. Now, it honestly depends on your header. You have some like predefined spacings for each widget sometimes. They're just set by default. All right, so that's pretty good there. And then now I'm going to go into my mobile view, which is going to be the last part of this video here. So as you can tell, now we just need to fix that. I mean, it's looking really good on tablet. And now on mobile, let's go ahead and just adjust this here. So we can go ahead and set this to the middle. And set this one to the middle as well. You can add some spacing between your list here, so you can go ahead and space this up a bit. You can space up. You can make your icons a little bigger if you wanted to. Have some spacing between this. That's pretty good. So, and then my login is right there. Now, if you honestly didn't want to display certain things. That's something that I did want to go over, and I kind of don't really do that anymore just because I know how to optimize everything for mobile just by using one section. I don't have to create a different one. But let's say for some reason you wanted to have a different header for your mobile view. We'll duplicate your current header here, and then one of them is going to be displayed for mobile and the other one is going to be displayed for desktop. The top one is going to be displayed for desktop. So basically, we just need to go ahead and hide it on mobile and tablet. So go into your section, go into advanced, and then go into responsiveness. And as you can tell here, we can adjust this. So we're going to go ahead and hide this on mobile and tablet. And now we won't be able to view this on mobile. And same thing for our section other. We're going to go ahead and hide this on desktop. There we go. So now whenever we view this, there will still be one menu. You can tell I can refresh it, right? And I mean, you can't see the difference right now, but if I go ahead and start changing this one around, if I go to tablet here, because this is a menu that we're using on tablet, and I go ahead and make this color, you know, red or something, right? And we click update. And now you will notice whenever we shrink this to a different size, our header changes. So that's how you would go ahead and do that. But I used to do that when things wouldn't adjust properly for certain sizes. I used to do this, but now that I got kind of better at Elementor, and you just use one section. But I just wanted to show you that just in case. So now I'm going to go back to my section here. I'm going to go to advanced and I'm going to remove these issues here. You hopefully don't have to do that, but if you did want something custom, you know, something more custom for mobile, then you can do that as well. So let's go back to our mobile view here. So that's set up on the top here. Now we want to go ahead and make our column width a little shorter here. So let's do about 20. So we can go ahead and fit everything in here. Let's do about 25. I might have just said a little more. Now I do want to use my button, and trust me, you can use your button. You just got to make it really small. That's perfectly fine. So what we're going to do is go into style, go into our padding. We want to go to make our, let's go ahead and click on our typography here. And our text, our button color, our button size, our font size, we want to make that a little smaller there. And then what we would do is add some padding to this. So from the top, we can do about 5. From the bottom, about 5. And on each side, let's just do 10. We don't need it to be that big. Maybe you can even do a little more. You can do maybe 8, adjust it a little more. There we go. We can maybe do 15. I mean, I think we can even fit it at 15. There we go. All right, and then we can set our button here. So let's go and set this to about 20. 20 is not good. It's probably going to get the biggest size, so we'll probably have to have it about that size there. So that's about 50. This is already set to 30, so we're going to have about 20 left. So 20 will be set to the one on the side, and we might make the hamburger icon a little smaller. It doesn't need to be that huge. It honestly looks really huge for mobile. So let's go into our toggle button, and let's make it a little smaller here. And that's perfect. All right. Now, if we did want to shrink our section here, we could do that as well. So we can go into our padding here, and we can obviously, I want to always have maybe 10 on each. I want to go ahead and have about, let's see, 10 at the bottom and 10 at the top, and then for each side we can do 10 as well. Hopefully that doesn't affect it, and that's perfect. Now, if you did want to move over your button a little bit, what you can do is you can go into advanced, go into margins, and from the right side we want to do a negative. So we can do maybe 5 and then set it to a negative. And then you can just keep moving here. So then you do 8 and then add a negative. Now usually you will have these little buttons you can press, but for some reason Elementor glitches sometimes. You do have those issues there. See here. Okay, so go ahead and click update. And let's go to view this now. This should have already adjusted for me here. There we go. And as you can tell, the button shrinks outer size, which is perfect. And everything seems to align properly. And there we go. Now what we can do as well, just in case things aren't aligning here, we can move this to the end. I always end up setting this to the end right here. We can even go to advanced, I believe. Let's see if I can go to advanced on this one. Positioning set to inline. Let's see if it works. No, I didn't move it as much, so we'll just have it set to how it is. That's fine. All right, that's perfect. Now what we can do is just remove the spacing on the right. So as you can tell, from the right side, we'll just remove that, just because I feel like there's too much spacing here. So let me go and refresh that there. Okay, now that's a lot better. There we go. Now everything seems to be working properly. Now the last thing we can do as a bonus, we can go ahead and add a sticky header, because I know a lot of you guys like adding sticky headers, and it's pretty easy to do. So we'll go into the desktop view, go ahead and click on your section here, go to style. Make sure you have a background set on this, set this to white. So whenever it scrolls, it's going to be white on the background. Then go to advanced, make sure you have the section. Go to motion effects, go to sticky here, go to top. And we want this set on desktop, tablet, and mobile. Yes, that's fine. Go ahead and click on update. Go to home. And there we have it. So now that's set up looking really good. And let's go to inspect. And now whenever I scroll, this works properly. Now, of course, we do have this space, but that's because I'm on WordPress. But if I logged out, it would be working properly here. Go ahead and click on that. So this is already on tablet. You can tell same thing here. It's looking really good. Okay, so now that's perfect. And that's pretty much it for this video. I know that this was kind of a long video, but there is a lot to take in, and it could kind of give you an idea of how you should be building your headers. So yeah, I hope you guys really did enjoy this video. If you guys do have any questions, just feel free to reach out to me, comment down below, and I'll definitely help you guys out. And if you guys did really enjoy all of this, consider subscribing and of course liking the video for the YouTube algorithm. And if you do want to support the channel, I do have a Patreon. I'll link it somewhere around here so you guys can check that out. And if you guys don't have Elementor Pro, I highly suggest getting Elementor Pro. It does come with a lot of features, you know, theme builder, pop-ups, contact forms, step forms, and all that. So if you guys do want to also support the channel that way by buying one of my affiliate links that I have with Elementor, I'll have that down below as well. But as always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.